UV, it was not actually a very conscious decision of mine. I come from a family business, Baidyanath, which is 100 years old, spanning 4 generations. I had to go through my experiences, the hardships, the successes on that. These were a lot of good learning, a lot of good knowledge. And interestingly, you find a lot of knowledge on business management, but not on family business management. So I just felt that I needed to share this with the new generation. A successful family business is only possible when you have the dignity of every member of the family in place. Well, that's the sin 1 in my book. And so what you have to understand, India predominantly is an agrarian country. Our rituals, our festivals, our customs, they all flow from agriculture. So the mindset of the elder, being the natural heir, flows from there. Why? Because the elder, he grows up first, he gains strength, he becomes the responsible one. And agriculture is all about strength and muscle. Then if we have the HUF. By law, the Karta is the eldest male child of the Hindu undivided family. India is also ruled by centuries by the kings and the queens. In their act of succession also, it is the eldest male child which becomes the heir apparent. So this is centuries of conditioning of the mind, which we all have. And it's not only in India, it also exists globally in some of the other countries. Now, when in India we have moved from agriculture to business, our mindsets have not. We still carry the elder son syndrome to the business. Now, agriculture is all about strength and muscle, while your business is about a sharp mind. HUF is about the continuity, while business is about competency. Monarchy is about a figurehead, while a business is about leadership and vision. So, if we are going to get stuck to the elder son syndrome, you are not going to have the best of the person from the family, the most meritorious and the most competent person run the business. That's why the elder son syndrome. I have played on the human psyche. This was a strategy. When you tell somebody what to do, it is a bit more difficult for him or her than if you tell them what not to do. That comes a bit more easier for them because it does not go against their basic character. So if you see in a human psyche, fear is more effective than motivation. So that is what I have played, that what not to do, 30 sins, what not to do is the impactful part of it. A guru gives you a lot, so it's very difficult to pinpoint, but since you're asking me, so professionally he always told us, he said, Ajay, your children should inherit a good business, a robust business and not conflicts. And I have followed that to the T. Personally, he was a very successful man, and what people tell me and what I know, he was a good judge of character. So obviously character was his biggest strength and he believed in it. So he always told us that sow a thought, reap a action. Sow a action, reap a habit. Sow a habit, reap a character. Sow a character, reap a destiny. And he also believed that the thought, it comes from the exposure and the knowledge you have. So he would always encourage us to be more aware of any subject. So, well caught actually, you have caught me on that. So what I have done is, see, we come from Ayurveda. So we have a lot of trust and we depend a lot on the ancient wisdom. And our forefathers did say that there were 4 ashrams. I have converted that into the 4 T's of a life cycle of a generation in a family business. And that you have to read to understand. But just to give you a brief, so T1 is the training, which is brahmacharya. T2 is transaction, which is grihast. T3 is transition, which is vanprasth. And T4 is turn in, which is like sannyas. And everybody goes through it, but if you do it consciously and you follow the cycle, you will have a very successful your life and the business life. So conflicts are all around us. And in a business, you have business conflicts and family conflicts. But there are 5 prime conflicts which infest a family business. It's an acronym I have given. P means for power, R for recognition, I for income, M for management of business, and E for equity. Now these 5 have to be managed very well and minimized to the minimum. It's utopian to eliminate them. But my book elaborates on this. So let me ask you a thing. What has COVID taught you? COVID has taught you that if you have a strong immunity, nothing can harm you. No virus can attack you. Similarly, in a family business, you have to have very strong immunity. Immunity has to be strong. How do you build that immunity? By not committing those sins. And that is why you need to read this book and understand how to survive and how to thrive a family business. So since 80% of family businesses do not survive the 3rd generation, there is a normal perception that the 3rd generation are the destroyers of business and the 1st generation are the creators of business. So I have taken an analogy with the Trimurti of Hinduism, Brahma, Vishnu and Mahesh. So Brahma, he created the world, so he was the creator. So the 1st generation is the creators. The 2nd generation are the preservers of the business or the managers of the business, and the 3rd, the destroyer. So now what happens is that 3rd generation has a choice in front of them. Do they want to be labeled the destroyer? Do they want to do the dance of destruction, the Tandav, and finish off the legacy? Or they have the 2nd choice? And that you'll get to know from my book.